In this video, we will go through the system requirements, how to install the Flu Burden application, some introductory notes, and some guidelines on how to use it and what it does. The Flu Burden application is a Microsoft Office Excel based application and requires a version of Microsoft Office 2000 or newer, an Intel Pentium processor, 512 megabytes of RAM and 100 megabytes of hard disk storage space. To install the application, navigate at the link provided to you and download the compressed file. Unzip the contents of the file in your desktop and the application is ready to run. It is important to stress here that each Sentinel site would be able to record annual data in one application workbook. For more data for different years or for different sites, you would need to download a fresh copy of the application. Every time you change a year, you would have to start with a new fresh copy of the application. At the end of the data entry, for consecutive years, for example, you would be able to combine the data into a single workbook. Please remember that before opening the application, you need to change the Excel's security level and make sure that it is set to medium. To do that, please follow the instructions in the user guide. When you will double click on the application, it will prompt you to enable the macros. Every Microsoft Office version has a different message, but the idea is that you need macros enabled before you can continue working with the application. Sample screenshots of the messages displayed to the user are included in the user guide. Another thing that is important and would help you identify where you are at inside the application at any given point in time is the color coding. Green is usually used to stress that you are in a data entry section, and red or orange is used to indicate an output section. Data collection is indicated as orange being in progress, green being completed. And finally, the color codes for the different site types are consistent with the codes, the colors given in the manual. When the application starts, the user is presented with the application launcher that you can see at your screens at this point. The launcher is the center of the application, which connects each of its individual parts. From there, you can choose to input the administrative data for the site, name, type, population, etc. Choose to start the data input for all cases, pregnant women, or comorbidities, and you can also view the results and charts that accompany them. Finally, you can import data from other spreadsheets and applications into a single one aggregate workbook. The administration pages allow the user to fill in the various variables of the site. This information is required only at the beginning of the process and can be reviewed at a later stage if required. As you can see, there are general information, essentials checklist, desirables checklist, and optionals checklist. The user's responses on each of these questions will affect the way the application works and what information is requested by the user for data entry later in the application. The administrative pages are like a wizard, and you will be required to fill in the information and continue with clicking next step. In the second page of this wizard, you are requested to enter the date information, the population information, and the pregnant women information. Click at the Set Start Date button and choose the year and then the date, the month where the data collection should start. Choose the age group you want to enter data for, and also whether you do have census data for the population of the catchment area or not. Finally, choose whether you have data for pregnant women and indicate the accrued birth rate per thousand live births. Once you have clicked next, you will not be able to set the start date again. That's why you get this warning. Finally, in this view, you are requested to enter the census data for its age group. The values presented here are just indicative, and once you have filled in all the values, you can click to the button launcher, and all the administrative information has been collected, and you're now ready to continue with your data input. The data input option allows the user to enter the data for the flu cases for this site. Depending on the site type, different data input options will be available to the user. Some of the options will have color indications of how far through the data input process the user is. Different options will be available to the user for the results and reports, depending on the site type they have chosen and are working with. Incidence rates, averages, and graphs are available in these pages. Finally, the last option available within the launcher is the import data. With this option, the user will be able to import data from another worksheet application. In more detail, the user will be able to combine two workbooks from sites of the same type, for example, SARI, from different regions. The resulting workbook will contain the combined data, and the results will show the aggregates for the two sites. The second option is to combine two workbooks representing the same site for different years. Please note that once the workbooks are combined, the user will no longer be able to edit the administration or the data input sections. The reports section will be available for review, and it will show aggregates of the combined workbooks. Finally, the import function will remain available to the user so that they can import more data if required.